Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
To level up.
Okay, girl, let's get started.
Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
On today's episode, we'll be talking about networking and why it's still important to continue to network during COVID. Just because it's the pandemic, people, that does not mean that your career needs to be put on hold. You need to still network.
Definitely, I agree with Raman. So, we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to stay connected and aspire to the careers you want to reach. Or if you're coming out of school, have a listen. This will really help you on your journey. Or if you're someone who's looking to change your career or just build some social networks, that's also a great way as well.
Those people are great that just want to network without any any purpose or desire. I mean, like desire to get a job or something like that. I aspire to be one of those people.
Yeah, if you need a new group of friends to support you, this is the way to go.
And you know what? I feel like a lot of it's not said out loud, but if you know somebody in a company or you kind of have a connection there, it is easier for you to get a job. A lot of companies now have referral programs where the employee will get a referral bonus if they do have somebody that they refer and they get hired. So a lot of people do look to, get that referral bonus as well and get somebody hired through somebody they know. So it definitely helps knowing somebody in the company.
Yeah, and I think companies like mine as well in today's day and age, they always want to hear from directors or any high management positions that if they do know someone and they're recommending someone, they must be good. So they always do push them to the interview line. So it's always worth like knowing somebody. And so don't burn your bridges with anybody from your past or that you may bump into in your future, guys.
You pointed something really, really important there. Don't burn your bridges. Even if you hated your former manager, you hated the company, everything was terrible, and you're excited about your new job, don't leave that old job on bad terms. You don't
Yeah,
know when you are going to need that person or see that person again. You need to keep those good relationships for the networking.
definitely. I agree with you, Raman.
I know. I've left places where I'm like, I wish I said fuck you, but
Yeah, the times Raman and I have thought about it.
but we're
Like
like,
just
thank
walk
you.
out.
But
Yeah,
be the bigger person and, walk out with pride and let them know that, if you ever need me for anything, don't be afraid to reach out. You also want to like leave that as you're leaving. Um, and you know what? That brings us to kind of the first point that we want to talk about. The first place to start networking is your immediate network. That's the
yeah,
first place to start. You need to look at, okay, like who do I know? What is my network like? How can this benefit me? You're always going to start with your immediate network.
exactly. I agree with you, Raman. So, what better place than your favorite place, LinkedIn?
Yes, I feel like from university, from the moment I knew what LinkedIn was, it really kind of made me see how much LinkedIn is. Well, it's expanding, but it's just like the number one platform. It's like you need a professional job. Did you check LinkedIn? If you need a network, did you check LinkedIn? And honestly, it is a really, really great network. If you do not have a LinkedIn profile, even I'm going to say get a LinkedIn profile because it
Yeah.
really does help. And Alysha, you probably faced similar issues as I did when I was a recruiter. Alysha and I are both of our first jobs were recruitment, and when somebody sees a recruiter as your job title, they just all want to connect with you because they think like you can help them get a job. And that's kind of how my network on LinkedIn actually got so big. Um, and now I'm at a point where I can go back and reach out to those people as well and see if they can help me with any future endeavors. And I actually have gotten jobs through LinkedIn before. So it definitely, I do highly recommend it. Whether you are a professional, so if you are a professional, something that I do is I kind of write a little blurb and I kind of do the same thing all those other people did when I was a recruiter. I'm going through my immediate network first and I'm checking anybody that's a recruiter or talent acquisition or in a position where they can actually help me get a job. And I reach out to those people and I send them a message. Because your immediate network you already have, right, on LinkedIn. Everyone else you're going to have to connect with first, and then they accept your, invite, and then you can go ahead and send them a message. Not everybody else you can message that's outside your network. Um, and I write a little blurb and I send them a blurb saying, hey, I'm like in the market right now looking for a job. Would we be able to connect? And that's kind of the first that I personally do when I'm looking for a new job. And if you are a graduate looking to, you just got out of school and you're like, okay, well, where do I start? I have no experience. LinkedIn actually has every university's LinkedIn page, and you can go to your university's LinkedIn page and check on some of the alumni from that university that were in your program as well. The university page and check on who the alumni are and see where they're working now and what they're doing with their degree. So kind of help you pave a path. And you don't have to message them and be like, hey, can you help me get a job? But you can connect with them and be like, you know, like I'm looking for some advice or I'm looking for kind of guidance on what to do next. If you can help me, what are some of the steps that you took to help get your first job? And it doesn't always have to be like, can you help me get a job? Right? Like you said, there's those people that are also wanting to connect with others, just maybe get a coach, maybe get a mentor, maybe just get some guidance. It's not always to get a job. So LinkedIn
Or
doesn't
even
have.
job shadow, like in case
Mhm.
you are unsure if you want to go into that particular career, then reach out to some people and say, are you up to job shadowing? So I can come spend a few hours, see what it is that you do. And then if it is something you like, then you can pursue it. If not, it'll give you an idea. No, this is not what I thought it was.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Like you might get a lot of no's, but there might be that one person that says, "Hey, I could use a free volunteer."
Exactly.
So,
Come do my filing for me.
exactly, right? It's like there would be people that are willing to help you out. And yeah, like LinkedIn is just such a huge network with it literally has every organization. You can follow any company's page, kind of keep track of what's going on there.
I think it's also, Raman, with the points you said, it's so great. It's also great in the fact that if you're someone who's unsure about how to get to your career, so if you're someone who's looking at a career that might be, let's use human resources for an example. There's so many steps in human resources, especially in the certificate program. So, for
Hmm.
CHIRP, CHRP, um, there's like the first level, the second level, and the third level is usually exec to manager. So you might wonder how to get to like that position if you are starting out in school and you're like, that's my end goal, that's where I map out my career. LinkedIn's a great way to see how people have, like, where they went to school, what they took at school,
Yeah,
what certificate programs they were part of or awards, who they're networked with, and what companies they may have gone with to get where they are today. So that's a great way to help you map out, if you're someone who likes to know, how can I take the steps to get somewhere.
that's a great way to put it. It's basically you getting to see everybody's resume, right?
Exactly.
Obviously, everybody is going to have their, main jobs that are relatable to their career all listed out, and they have their education and the certificates. And you know what? Like it's not creepy at all, but you can even look at the years, right? It's like, okay, this person this long to, get here, it helps you be realistic and maybe, yeah, like you said, pave a path for themselves as well to see like, okay, I'm not going to try to jump A to Z right away. Maybe I need to go like A to D to M and so forth throughout my life. Helps set
Exactly.
realistic goals, I think. But yeah, LinkedIn is great. If you don't have LinkedIn, time to get started now.
Definitely. Another great platform to look at is even Instagram, which I'm sure all of us have. Instagram's great for so many things. I know a lot of people just go on there to express their life through pictures or look at other people's lives, but there's so much more beyond that. It's a great way for motivation. There's a lot of Instagram, like, influencers that are on there that show you, like, from day to day tasks that they do. From if you're someone who wants
Mhm.
to learn about organizing your home, cooking, cleaning, family, shopping, building your business, or even like being in the stock markets or selling your home. There's just so much on there. And you simply just need to either look the name up of what you're looking for or hashtags, which I think are so useful in today's day and age, because whenever I'm about to do a service or look for something, or if I'm looking for a new, let's say, hairstylist, or if I'm looking for anything that I am like trying to do in my daily day-to-day task before I purchase something from somebody, I usually hashtag it on Instagram
I
because it'll
need to
pull up
start doing that.
everybody and anybody. It's kind of like Pinterest, where
Yeah.
you look up pictures and stuff. So this is a great way to see what's out there. And so if you're looking for a wedding planner or anything like that, you're going to pull up a lot of people that will either be in the area of around you, the same province or country or state. And I think it's such a great way to get exposed that way too. And not even that, it's got your features. So you can message people on there and be like, hey, like, maybe if you see someone as a realtor and you see that they're selling homes and you really like what they're doing and you want to pursue that career next,
Mm-hmm.
well, this is a great way to DM that person and be like, I'm really interested in becoming a realtor. How did you get there? What did you do? Could you maybe express some advice? Not everybody is going to be open, but you
Yeah.
will find someone that will be. And you can't just bluntly go on to guys like someone's new business, like if it's crystals or something like that,
Yeah.
and be like, where did you get your stuff? I want to start a crystal business. Like, you
I
can't just
know
don't
you,
do that.
yes. And we highlighted that for like the LinkedIn thing too. Like, don't necessarily be like, I need this. Sometimes
Yeah.
connecting and, um, and these are connecting to strangers, right? Essentially, like you said, every important business is on Instagram. So whether you want to be anything, you could reach out to, actually, now that I'm really thinking about it, tons of people. I'm thinking about,
Exactly.
like, when we started off, like we didn't think of it like
Yeah.
that. But now that I'm seeing it, you're right. There are just so many businesses. And yeah, a lot of people will be like, no, this is just another competitor. But then there are a lot of people that will be like, you know what? Like, yeah, I can help you. It was a struggle for me too. And I wish I had somebody and I would love to help you.
Yeah, so we'll give you another example that Raman and I actually had started a photo booth company along with our wedding coordinator business. And we reached out to one that we particularly liked and
Mm-hmm.
how she carried herself. She was so open to helping us. And, sometimes some people, like, if you really want their help, you can even, like, make a deal with them. Like, I can pay you this much, or, if you give me in return of your help, or I'll give you a referral.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people like that because it's appreciation and respect. And it's just the principle of the matter. You're not just bluntly using someone, you're doing that back and forth respect, right? And I think that's so important in today's business and entrepreneurs. So just keep those kind of things in mind. People are open, but also show how you can give back your appreciation by even referring that individual, whether they're a realtor or of another career. It's helpful to anybody, especially during like COVID and pandemic life, right?
Yeah, because people can get very, I guess, like their competitor, or they're trying to get all my knowledge, and people might be scared to share too much knowledge. I do feel like that's a problem recently,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's enough to go around for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I think, Remen, another one that you're better at than I am is Facebook.
Am I better at Facebook?
I feel like you are.
I feel like maybe I went through a phase in my life where but I mean, okay, just because I'm out of that phase doesn't mean that those tips are still not good. So another way, you're right, is Facebook groups. So there are a lot of Facebook groups, community, right? So it's a lot of people sharing knowledge. You might not be like super comfortable maybe going up to people for help or assistance or questions, and you might just need to talk to somebody. There are lots of Facebook groups for literally everything. um,
Yeah.
just search it, and some Facebook groups you do have to ask permission to join, and like write a little blurb like, I'm looking to join this
And
because,
obeyed by the rules or whatever
yeah,
as
and
well,
obey by
right?
the rules. But it's a community, so it's whether you're looking to, even there, like there's groups about starting a business and like entrepreneurship, or like people starting in a specific business, and looking to network. Like, I know that I'm a part of a bunch of decor groups, where people, like other decorators, sell stuff, and are buying from each other and stuff like that, or if they're renting out something. So it is definitely a great network as well. And like LinkedIn, but on a LinkedIn is like kind of like you have to message people individually versus Facebook is you're posting it and you could get like 10 responses under that post as a comment. So you're kind of getting a lot of immediate information as well, I feel. And then, you can always go and like send a personal message to that person. And, if you do want to have a further discussion or conversation, you can do that. But I'm not so into Facebook right now in this phase of my life, but I did go through a phase in my life where I did definitely utilize Facebook to kind of gather information and kind of help me network with some people. And yeah, it was good.
Yeah, great. No, it's still a great outlet. I agree with you.
A lot of people are still on
With
Facebook.
Yeah, especially I think the older generation too, like that might be old.
I feel like
it just
that's how
is
people are seeing Facebook now. It's like the older generation. Oh.
No offense to our older listeners, but I feel like they just find it easier to navigate and all their friends are on there as well. But I personally like, cooking's important to me. So I follow a lot of cooking groups. So if you are aspiring chef, that's another great place to start, is to find recipes and things like that. Or like Raman said, if you're an entrepreneur, there's other people out there trying to start a business. It's so great just to find information. Or if you're in a you're moving to a new city and you want to connect with new people, that's another way to join a lot of communities within the city. So there's like little, yeah, there's so many travelers group. When I moved first to Oakville, I joined a lot of Oakville communities because there were so many. Even like my new development area was called like rural Oakville. So I joined it.
Yeah.
And like people talked about like current events that were happening around the area. They kept you up to date. Or if you just needed to make some new friends, it was such a great place to do so because you're neighbors, right? So definitely so many opportunities to network and connect with people on there as well. Another one that's new and upcoming that I'm not sure if a lot of our followers have heard of is Clubhouse.
Yes.
So
I feel
yeah,
like I've been hearing about it more and more day by day.
Raman has a disadvantage, unfortunately, because she's an Android user. So Raman hasn't been able to connect on there yet.
It's
But
iPhone
it's
only,
right
FYI, right now. Right now.
Yeah, it's for users. And, I was pretty surprised. So it's funny that Raman knew more about it than
Because
I
of
did, and she's an
him.
Android
And
user.
he sent
Yeah.
you the invite.
Yeah, so I wanted to get on Clubhouse because I saw that somebody was promoting like an online discussion that they were going to have, but it was only going to be on Clubhouse. So like I couldn't sign up for it. You can only get invited, and that's the only way you can access it. And each person either gets 2 invites depending on how much you contribute to the platform. You can like get more invites to
Oh,
send out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I've learned a lot since I've joined. I think I joined last week. Yeah, so since I've joined last week, I've tuned in to like maybe 2 to 3 discussions a
Oh,
day.
wow.
It's kind of, yeah, it's replaced my podcast listening this week, which I will resume back to. But I've just been so intrigued because the notifications are on, and like the interests that I have would be like, marketing on social media, podcast users. Like there's so much. There's like exploring. There's like topics about realtors. There's about businesses. And it's just a lot of individuals that are entrepreneurs or strong candidates in the business world are on there, and they're having these live discussions, and you can join and either silently participate to listen, or you can raise your hand and they'll tap on you and
Oh,
you can
that's
speak
amazing.
too. So it's great. There's loads of information, and they'll ask questions and they answer all these answers, and you can follow those people. So then when you click on their bio, you'll see like what else they're on, and you can follow them on Instagram, LinkedIn, or like Facebook, and you can connect further. But it's streaming with tons of information. And one individual said yesterday on I was going to say podcast, on a meeting, and she's right. She was saying that, I used to pay thousands of dollars to get the network I'm in with, like networking with all of you, or I would pay tons of money to travel and like learn the information I'm learning, but yet here's a platform that's free and right in my hands, right in my
That is
home. And I
amazing.
was like, that's so true. Yeah, it's such an interesting point. So you can save money when you network through social media,
Yeah.
guys. It's such a great way. So definitely a great platform if you're able to check it out, or you know someone that has it, have them invite you, because I'm telling you, it's worth your
And it's
while.
not just from what I haven't even tried it yet, but I apparently know I get all this information. Hopefully by the time it comes to Androids, I'll be fully knowledgeable on it and know what exactly to do. But from what I've heard, it's like professional. So not just like um, everyday you like listeners, it's actual professionals from companies, organizations, high level CEOs having these discussions. So that's really cool. It's like, yeah, it's having like your own little TED Talk, live TED Talk that you can actually talk in as well on your
Yeah.
phone. That's actually really amazing. I know Tim's been like super obsessed with tuning in to Clubhouse discussions as well, just to learn more. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, so I,
I
I guess
think,
this is going to be the new upcoming thing that's going to be, and I guess this kind of links into discussion boards because this is like a live discussion board. And I don't have any specific websites that I've gone on to looked for discussion boards to like contribute to, but there are a lot. Like usually, if you search based on what exactly you're searching for or like a certain area, you can. There's lots of online discussion boards as well, and those are kind of like if you do want to kind of stay low key, get like random information or have those random conversations with kind of someone anywhere behind the internet that probably has one of those like random letter and numbers usernames. That's definitely an
yeah,
option too.
for sure. And even Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter's another great option. Twitter, I know you only get so little amount of space to
Yeah.
type, but it's a great way to see current events that's happening right in, like, I don't know. One of the things was like politics. Politics is such a huge thing on there. So if you're someone who wants to go into law, or you want to be in the know of politics or current events, I think that's a great way to follow people. Well, follow people that you can
Hmm.
trust. You want facts at the end of the day if you're relating this back to business. But there's so many followers on there that you can follow, and they're expressing so many things, and you can learn new things. Like, I follow CP24. That's our current, like, that's our local news. And I'm not someone who tunes into CP24, the actual channel, because I find it very
So
depressing.
depressing.
But I go onto Twitter just to see what's happening, to make sure I'm in the
Yeah.
loop. Like, so if someone says to me, hey, like, did you hear about this, especially at work, I don't want them to think I'm someone who doesn't care about like where I live or what's happening
Hmm.
around me. So I say, yeah, I did hear about that. So that's another thing, guys. Like, when you are part of organizations and you're growing within, it's very important on how you carry yourself too. And that's where social media can either break you or
Hmm.
make
You
you.
can use
So
it,
you also don't
yeah,
want
one way or
to,
the other.
yeah, so you want to use it wisely. You don't want to be following accounts that you know is not professional if you're trying to have a look you're trying to complete. So companies can also look into you in your social media. Don't forget, all it takes is Googling your
Hmm.
name. And if you have things you shouldn't on your social media account, like Facebook, or pictures you shouldn't be showing, make sure that stuff isn't exposed, because that will tarnish your first impression
And
right away.
that could
So
prevent you from getting the job.
exactly. So be very careful with what you're posting on social media, how you're talking to people, even with current events, how you're responding to other people's posts.
Mhm.
It's very important to, yes, be opinionated, but be
In a
opinionated in the right
professional
way.
way. Especially if you're starting off
Yeah.
in your career, you don't want that to tarnish kind of the rest of your career path. And I think like one of the, as you were talking about like getting information off Twitter, really made me like highlight back to networking. When people hear networking, I feel like they just instantly think it's only about getting a job. But just circling back to it's not just about getting a job, it's about, making connections, getting knowledge, getting opportunities to grow and have that free knowledge at your hand, from the comfort of your home, especially with COVID right now, like all the events that you would normally go to in person, like in downtown, have to dress up to, whether you kind of like I know HRPA like has a bunch of them, so you would have to go to all these in meeting networking. But now because of COVID, it's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing, but like not even a bad thing. You need to kind of see it as a good thing. But now you could do all this networking at the comfort of your home. But I just think people forget. Okay. I think people do need to remember that, networking isn't just about getting the job. It's also about getting knowledge, growing. And, back in the day, we would have to go to all these in-person social media, sorry, not social media, networking events where we had to dress up and act professional and had to talk to like 10 people in person and kind of network through that way. So COVID kind of, it's a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing because we can do all these things from home, but a bad thing because people feel like maybe they don't need to network now that they're sitting at home. But there are a lot of Zoom meetings as well. And what we recommend is still dressing professional, even though you're going to, maybe it's from just heads up, like from bottom up, whether you're wearing your PJs underneath, but still be professional on those Zoom meetings or those networking events and, show that you're serious about what you're looking to do.
I agree with Raman. Carry yourself well, even online or in person. It's so essential and important. Listen, guys, impressions are everything. How you carry yourself. Make sure your hair is
Yes.
combed online. Make sure you don't have distractions, and if you can control it, right? But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I hope you guys got some insight on networking. If you guys have any kind of other methods that you've used to network during COVID and would like to share, if you guys have any suggestions of, any networking events or networking ideas that you've done during COVID and have worked for you, we would love to hear it and share it with our audience as well. You can email us at ramanandalysha@gmail.com. We will have our email address in the link below. And if you're not already following us on social media, follow us on Instagram and YouTube at levelupwithramanandalysha.com.
Yes, friends, thanks for tuning in, and we hope you guys get to networking this upcoming week.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.